Hi guys, welcome back to the channel for another video today. I hope you're doing well and I hope you've had a great weekend, the first official weekend of summer, I feel like, with all the kids getting out of school, at least around me. I hope you're having a great, happy, healthy start to your summer. It feels like it's been so long since I've sat down and filmed a video, and I think that's because it has. I think I filmed most of my videos for last week early on in the week, and so it's just a little awkward sitting here today. It always feels so weird when it's been a little bit of time since I have filmed. So anyways, with all of that being said, I am here today with my weekly Mounjaro update. If you're new here, I have lost over 100 pounds using branded Mounjaro and then compounded Troeptide, and I've shared that entire journey here on YouTube, and I've built this sort of safe space for us all to come together and share and just be together on this journey. So my chair's wiggling me. So yeah, if you are interested in a really good community full of support, then hit that subscribe button, leave us a comment down below. It's our channel and we love to sort of chat in the comments down below. So we would love to have you. But today I am here with a weekly update. Now, you guys know that I weighed in last week. If you are new, I don't weigh all the time anymore. So I have gone to every 3 to 4 week weigh-ins just to sort of keep myself accountable and then to also not obsess over the scale. So I weighed last week and I was, I believe, like 151 pounds or something like that, which is what I normally am. I did not weigh in this week. I'm, gonna give it a few more weeks. Now, I do go on a cruise next week. We're going to talk about that as well. But I go on a cruise. I leave next Saturday. And I'm not sure if I'm going to weigh. I don't want to weigh right when I get back, right? So it's either I weigh right before I go or I wait like 2 weeks after, like a full week after to kind of lose cruise weight. I don't know. We'll see how that turns out. I might just go ahead and weigh next week, next Friday before we go and see what my weight is. But yeah, that's a problem for future me. Current Brittany doesn't need to worry about that right now. Now, Chris's weigh-in this week is an interesting one, friends. So if you've been following Chris's journey, you know that he has been trying to stop his weight loss, right? So he's been spreading his shots out so that he's not taking them as frequently. He is on like every 2 weeks or more, just kind of when he feels like he needs it. And I'm not gonna lie, his weigh-in this week freaked him out a little bit. So the last week when he weighed in, he weighed 176.4 pounds, okay? And that was like 1.5 pounds loss from the previous week. This week when he weighed in, y'all, he weighed 180.6. So he gained 4 pounds this week. Now, I'm trying to explain to him that he didn't really gain 4 pounds, right? Like, you can't possibly gain 4 pounds in 1 week. He would have had to eat a lot of food. But he is aware that he ate a little bit more sweets this week. We went out to eat for a date night and we got these like cheese tater tot things, like loaded tots, I guess. And he ate most of them because if I eat appetizers and I won't eat my meal, which I had a salad that night. But yeah, so he went a little crazy this week and he acknowledges that. And he also said that he only had one time to run this week. So, if you've been following my YouTube journey for a long time, then you know that Chris, is a salesman for a pretty big beer company around here. And so he manages an entire, town of accounts, and that is like grocery stores, convenience stores, all that. And he has a pretty big town around here, and so he is very busy in the summer, especially with summertime and people buying more beer and all that. The demand for him at work goes up a lot, and so he has just a lot less time to do other things. I actually hate the summer because of that, because I see so much less of Chris, but he's gonna have to figure out a way to make sure that he is working out still and doing all the things, all of his responsibilities at work or whatever. But he does acknowledge that those are probably the reasons why he had a worse off weigh-in this week. Now, I have just one quick little orderly update for you guys today, and that is that the Troeptide starter pack will end this month. I previously said June 14th, and I'm not 100% sure on that date. I was told that date and then backtracked just a little bit, like, oh, maybe I need to definitely confirm that. That's what my manager told me. So I had said June 14th, but I'm not 100% sure that that is the official date, but I do know that it will end in June. And that is because the bud dates of all the stuff that was mass produced back in March, the latest bud date we have is September 14th. So they are going, which I think is where the June 14th date came from. And that might be the date, but I just can't 100% say that, but it will end in June. So if you are on the fence about thinking about getting that starter pack, it's a great deal. And I don't know what is coming beyond that as far as pricing and deals go. I'm 100% not sure. I've not been told anything except for the fact that it will end in June. So if you want to get started on that, I have a link down below always, and I can't say enough good things about Orderly. I am also going to be making a video, go ahead and kind of preface this now, later this week, talking about all of the Orderly things. That will be a video that is specific for people interested in Orderly. So if you aren't, then you just don't have to watch it and you don't have to hear about it all. But there's been some stuff lately on YouTube going around and videos being made and stuff. And I just feel like I need to clarify a few things and clear a few things up that I don't want misinformation out in the world, right? I try to share as honest of information as I have, and what's been being shared more recently by some other people has not been 100% accurate. And so without being negative towards those specific people, I am going to just clarify a few things in a video coming up this week. And I feel like it is my duty to do so. So that will be coming later this week. But moving on from Orderly, let's talk about the news things. Now it was a quiet week news-wise for the most part. There wasn't any major lawsuits. There wasn't anything like crazy psycho going on. Last week, a lot of the Facebook groups were shut down, and that was a whole thing with a lot of content creators basically just having their groups be gone and not able to get them back. The Orderly customer group is still not back, and there are a few others that still have not come back as well, where the appeal process is just taking longer. So none of that happened this week, thankfully, no more sort of to that. But there were a few little things that I wanted to highlight on. The first one is an article that I came across about Novaortis and how much they have fallen behind Eli Lilly and what the real reason for that is. Most people would say it's easy. Zepbound works better, right? So Zepbound is doing better than semaglutide or than Wegovy is because it works better. And yes, that's part of it, but this article really, and I will link it below, this article really went further into it and kind of talked about the timing of things and how it all lined up to sort of be the demise in this race of obesity medication for Novo Nordisk. They released Wegovy at almost the exact same time, got Wegovy approved for weight loss at almost the exact same time that Zepbound was released for weight loss, and a little bit before, and they weren't able to keep up. So you had Wegovy being the main weight loss thing on the market that was approved for weight loss, and they were first, but then they couldn't keep up. And then Zepbound came out, and because they couldn't keep up, a lot of people jumped ship over to Zepbound and then never gave Wegovy a chance because they just couldn't find Wegovy. So they decided to try and get Zepbound, and then they never tried Wegovy, right? So a lot of people say that it has something to do with the timing of when it was released versus when Zepbound was released and how much production they were able to keep up with. Now, we all know how that unfolded with Zepbound and their production capacity as well, but it was sort of this perfect storm for Eli Lilly that was against Wegovy. So within the past year, we've actually seen Novo Nordisk stocks drop by 50%. That is a lot. And on top of that, we all know the CEO resigned a couple of weeks ago. So Novo seems to be in this sort of decline downhill thing, as Eli Lilly seems to be gaining more and more traction, as they have two of the biggest ones, the Orforglipron and Troeptide, coming down the pipeline that they are going to be releasing soon. Troeptide has had some really good data results recently, speaking about how, because it acts on that third glucagon thing, that it is going to be so much more effective than both Zepbound is and Wegovy is. And so Eli Lilly has a lot of good things going for them. And they've also been, communicating with insurance companies and trying to work out deals with the CVS deal, which was Novo, but the Cigna deal and all of that. And so we're starting to see this shift within the market of pharmaceutical companies realizing that they're going to have to work with insurance companies in order to get some of these things approved so that they can benefit more people and help more people and in the end make them more money as well, right? Because we obviously know that greed is or not greed, but money is driving a lot of this. So I think that them doing these things, like starting to work with insurance companies, is a really good sign of where things are going in the future. Now, the last thing I wanted to talk about is GLP-1 prescriptions. So an article came out this week talking about, I think it was on the Healthline Dive. It was like, it's a webpage that does health deep dives, so into different things. I will link this article down below as well. But talking about how over the past, since 2019, prescriptions for GLP-1 access have grown by 584%. That is how many more people are being written prescriptions for GLP-1s. Now, of that 584% increase, there is a big number of 80% of people who don't get the prescriptions, never end up filling them, aren't able to find access to them due to cost, due to availability issues, due to all of these other things. But what this article, this is all stuff we kind of knew, right? The article that came out this week showed that even though with all of the options decreasing, right, with a lot of compounding either going out of business or facing lawsuits or whatever, the access to GLP-1s has been shrinking, so that there's especially in the telehealth game, very few players are still in the game. There is Orderly, there's Brello, there's the 5410 or whatever it is, and I think Lavender Sky is still operating. But from what it was 2 or 3 months ago, it is getting very much so smaller in the scope of where you are able to find access, to where now there is just a handful of telehealths, and then there is Novo directly or Eli Lilly directly. And even with the shrinking of availability and access, the prescriptions rates are still going up very quickly. And so there has not been any decline. So we still have people wanting to get on GLP-1s. We still have the desire of prescribers to write prescriptions for GLP-1s. Now we are going to be facing all of these new people that are trying to get on it, along with all the people that are already on it, and then shrinking access at the same time. And so when I read that article, the way that I looked at it was, holy crap, we probably have some type of issue that's going to be going on accessibility wise if the rate of people being prescribed isn't going down. People that are already on it don't want to go off of it. And so when you shrink the amount of places and the amount of sources that you're able to get it, where are you going to drive people to get it from? I have seen a very big increase, especially over on TikTok, of people speaking about research peptides and the gray market. And that is so incredibly scary for me. I understand that people will like send them off and get them third-party tested and all of that. I've done a lot of research on this because I want to know what people are doing. But even if you do that, even if you get it tested and it comes back as pure or whatever, how are you being monitored otherwise, right? So like how are you knowing how to mix it besides like learning it on the internet? How are you learning how to mix it? How are you learning how to dose it? How do you know you're giving yourself the appropriate dose? Who's following up with you after the fact? It's just really scary. And so I really hope that more people don't go that way when people are being driven that way. I'm not necessarily blaming anybody except Big Pharma, because society has given us this taste of this thing that can change our lives. I'm on a soapbox. Y'all know what I do when I get on one. But they've given us this taste of what GLP-1s can do for us and how they can change our lives. And then it's almost like they're ripping it away with the access of it in conjunction with what it costs to buy the name brand. Those two things together make this perfect storm of people that are willing to do things that they probably otherwise would never have done, and that is go and find it themselves. And that's really unfortunate, and I hope that's not the way that we are headed, where you're going to see more people doing that, and then who knows what to our overall health, because people were driven to do that. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I'll get off my soapbox about that. For my goals for the week, I mentioned earlier that we are going on a cruise at the end of this week. So I'm actually going to be, one of my big goals this week is to work ahead a lot. Meaning get some videos filmed for next week, get some TikToks filmed for next week to go ahead and schedule to get up, so that I'm not missing a whole week's worth of work, but so that I can actually enjoy and relax. I was telling Melissa that I did not even pay for the internet on my cruise. because I don't want to. Like, I want to be able to just put my phone down. I didn't get the internet for the kids. I want to be able to just put our phones down and enjoy the time together and really disconnect. And so my big goal this week, pretty much the only one that I have, is to get everything ready to go on the cruise and work ahead so that I can focus on the cruise once I get there. This is the first time we've ever been on one. So if you have any cruise tips, leave them down below. I would be so grateful for anything that you have to offer me. I'm learning a lot just by like researching and watching different videos and stuff like that about what I can expect, but I'm definitely like super nervous as well because we've never done anything like this. We vowed this year that we wanted to do something that wasn't just a beach vacation, and that's what we're doing. So I'm really excited for that. But yeah, give me any tips and tricks down below. So those two goals, and then I want to drink all my water and I want to move my body more. I said last week that my goal for this week was to walk, or this summer was to walk every day with Kylie. We only walked 4 times last week because it poured rain here every single day. Like every day it was raining like crazy. And so we just weren't able to go out. The days that we did go out, it was like this lag in the rain that we were able to get out for 30 minutes and take a walk. And so I want to be better about that this week. It's literally about to pour behind me. I could hear I see the weather changing in the window, which is unfortunate because I was about to go on a walk. So anyway, that's my little update for today. Let me know what your thoughts are down below on everything that we talked about today. And I will see you guys tomorrow in the next video. In this same outfit minus my glasses, because y'all know how I do. Have a great day, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.